welcome back to the semifinals of GPN. Again, I'm playing against Dravos. I am the highest seed, so all in play. Bit of an interesting matchup. Both on blue-green. They do have main deck sacrificial, which I have to be aware of. But otherwise, kind of an interesting back and forth, because I think both our decks are kind of similar, with having some amount of decent, just kind of good by the self mid-range threats. I have like Jade Harvester, Seeker, Nat. They have Announcer, Pedal Scatterer, Bull as well. Fits into that. A Log Recluse. Yeah, so this is and so I'll keep it. Don't have any mailing, which is a bit annoying, but I'll make do. Looks like another stay. So I think just kind of general matchup thoughts. I'm mostly hoping that my opponent doesn't have turn 1 Primal Resurgence, because that's the only one drop. Otherwise the deck's a bit on the clunky side. A lot of the play patterns in that deck kind of presuppose a turn 2 or a like ramp piece into like an Offie or something along those lines, or Tamio, which doesn't affect the board. So hopefully I'd be able to use that a little bit. I just realized I might fetch wrong. Whatever. I'll lead on the here, I guess. Probably should have. I think the crackler is probably Nebula for blue-green. The Nat1 one. I do prefer having Force with this because of the Jade Harvester. Doesn't matter too much though, because probably. Oh, actually, no. This is a mistake. Because if I draw a mill spell, it gets a bit rough. Yeah. So I suppose actually I can just play the mill spell and hope to hit for Jade Harvester. Need to hit an instant here, but yeah, the sequencing is not good. The mill 2 pronounces good. I get very lucky, and that lets me play Jade Harvester. Then 2, totally bailed out, but don't mail any lands, which I guess comes with the property of getting very lucky for Harvester, but good. Yeah. Opponent is rightfully mythed, definitely playing 1 mana 3/3, turn 2. So next turn I do have some choices. I think both the natural plays are a bit weird. So Dragon's Descendant does use my mana, which is good. It's not that big of a buff, but also delays the Nat. But if I play the Nat, then I Masterwork for Cultivator or Seeker, which those might be fine, depending on what my opponent does here. I think if they... Okay, so Log Recluse does stifle a fair bit of my pressure, but isn't the worst. Muck Bruiser. Oh. So, it feels hard to turn down Muck Bruising here. So, this is kind of what I was talking about with the turn 2 creature, turn 3, like, value line, where I don't think my opponent can really deal with me just laying out a couple more threats here. So I suppose let's just do that. Bit annoying that Nat doesn't flip, but guess that's okay. Feels hard to turn down the Muck Bruiser, especially when my opponent's so healthy. Think about what I want to name with Nebula. I can probably just name blue-green. There's like maybe a argument for naming a third color for Sinkhole, but doing so feels a bit unnecessary when not only do I not have Sinkhole, but I have plenty of stuff to spend my mana on, so I don't really care too much about holding up Sinkhole. I'll also say that this line would be much scarier if I did have a 6 card in graveyard for Nat. Adds another whole bunch of damage to the board. Let's see what my opponent has. They could basically have anything here. I'm kind of glad that at least 2 of the pronouncers are gone. This pronouncer is a very good way for them to be stifling aggression. If they just like play Pedal Scatterer here, probably the most like likely thing to come down. I suppose that the Harvest actually does trade with the Scatterer, so not too bad. And there's a Scatterer. Guess we'll see if they have a 2-drop here. It's also pretty easy for them to just like pass, because Vlogger being a weak for 1 blocks does make it a lot more annoying. One of the few upsides of the nerf is that it does just eat this 3/3 now. But in general, I'm feeling pretty good about this situation. do have to consider what I want to do with this masterwork and how I want to sequence this, because I could just masterwork for a cultivator, see if I can find a creature to value out. There's a nebula, which is fine. I do have enough tempo that maybe I should be swinging with Harvester and Seeker. Both of them have effects other than Grave on Death, so that's pretty good. You have to consider what I want to do with my hand, though. Actually, what I'll do is I'll actually try and blow out my opponent on blocks, masterwork for Dragon's Eye. So Nebula, I guess, names Blue-Red. I'm not super, let's name Blue. And then I'm just gonna just double check that they don't have any interaction. Yep, and I'm gonna swing in, see what they do. Maybe this is a pretty obvious representation, but arguably they just kind of have to bite, because they can't really afford to not block here. The basic idea is that Log Recluse will actually lose to Harvester Seeker with the Dragon's Eye Descendants stuff, and then the Dragon's Eye Descendant, or off the Masterwork, will fill up the graveyard enough for Muck Bruiser to eat something as well, if it gets blocked, that is. And then next turn I can follow up with another Dragon's Eye, and that is lethal, considering I'm probably killing my opponent's board here. Okay, so deciding to go block and Muck Bruiser, so definitely, so what, Masterwork plus Dragon's Eye puts 4 cards in bin, plus the Wayfarers is +5, so yeah, that's just entirely safe. And this should be PG. It does just kind of lose on the spot. So this is +2, +3. I guess I did actually need to hit a land there, because if I don't hit any lands there, then this is a 5/6. But yeah, my opponent's losing the board, taking 6, kinda, and then should die on the following turn with this Dragon's Eye Descendant, and might even have lethal. I guess Leyran Alpha would stabilize quite a bit. But, if I don't hit any, it'd be pretty unfortunate if I didn't hit any lands there. I did miscount, thinking that was safe regardless, but if I don't hit any lands there, then Muck Bruiser's a 5/6, which will die. Do get the trade, do get 6 damage, but much less confident. I still probably win just with like swing out Dragon's Eye Descendant or something, because the net is 4 damage in the air, so functioning they're 11. Dragon's Eye Descendant trigger being burned, so like even with the Leyran Alpha, they'd be pretty. Bull does do stuff, but they definitely should have. But I guess, yeah, sorry, they can, I believe, respond to this to stop it, but that means that they can't sack for life, which means they die. I don't know if they even live with the life gain. So I guess I can always just give trample on the thing that Bull blocks to make the life gain irrelevant. So here I think Par is good. Answers Pronouncer, and I think that's it. The LPS isn't like the craziest thing, but I think most of the stuff I'm concerned about is creatures, with Sacrificial Bull, third one coming in, Bessie's Brood coming in. Leyran Alpha in general is annoying. I think Seeker isn't great here. Kind of just, I think by the point that Seeker's trumping, the land doesn't matter. It's like, really it's trying to trump it like Petal Scatterer, but at that point, like turn 4. Do like 1 for the Masterwork. Then I think Anthus is pretty good here. So, Harvester is okay. I do like the Anthus just because of the flying, to be honest. Yeah, day outside out Seeker feels kind of greedy, maybe. Yeah, I think Seeker's a valuable thing to have be fetchable. I think I'll start out Jade Harvester just because the Petal Scatterer kind of Sacrificial Bull is just kind of larger than it, which makes it kind of annoying to get in with. Though honestly, just having I guess with Sacrificial Bull, it's a really good, easy to not be able to get the Scavenge. My cards do seem pretty good, so yes, like Ambition seems kind of bad just in general. Seems kind of win more. Corrosion isn't the worst, but it also isn't good. It's really just preventing. It's kind of like trying to bandage something that is like a massive flesh wound, I guess. But practically speaking, I'm not gonna be able to stop them from getting mana. So I mean, I feel inclined to keep this just because it has a bunch of mail. I have really good odds of getting a 10-2 Jade Harvester for 1 mana. Let's do need to find something, some kind of pressure here. It's very possible that the like Multi 5 does win this if I don't find a good follow-up to the Jade Harvester. It also just like not hit Jade Harvester on turn 2, which would be unfortunate, but definitely possible. And that my opponent's deck can definitely have some pretty nasty 5-card hands, since the Call Forgotten Aeons is a good card. Am I leading here? I lead Nat or Visions? I guess I lead. Oh, I guess I lead Nat. Is that right? I'm always fetching an island here. My logic tells me Nat is always better. I'm trying to find. I don't think there's a reason to go for Visions first. Because I think I'm always playing Nat over Harvester next turn, even if I do get the Harvester to cost 1. So that means that I'm always running into a turn 3 Bessie Speed with this Nat. Yeah. And I do get lucky that my opponent doesn't have anything going on. Dragon's Eye is pretty nasty. Oracle's Visions. My opponent isn't liking their spot. And I definitely am liking my spot. Looking good for my chance. They bought a card? What? Why? I mean, huh. I mean, I guess, sure. This is not a unreasonable card when you're making a lot of mana. It does give you just the out of ley ran randomly on, I guess just gives you more ley rans, would be the way to put it. So now let's, so what this line is really doing is hoping that my opponent doesn't have any, Bessie's boots, because if they do, then I'm sad. But if they don't, then I'm hitting them for a whole lot of damage with this Dragon's Eye. I'm a bit uncomfortable that I milled 2 Dragon's Eyes. Because that means that I have the 3rd in hand, and this Masterworker will be grabbing the last one. So if I do mill a Dragon's Eye off this Dragon's Eye, then I would not be the biggest fan of that. This a Bessie's Boot, yes. I am sad. A host is a good draw. So yeah, I don't think I have a ton of nuance in my decisions at this point. I guess I should be going master. So my main kind of thoughts would be whether or not whether I master for Dragon's Eye Descendant or Mark Bruiser, which is maybe like half the choices in this deck. Because if I'm masterworking for Descendant, then I think I always grab that before playing the one in hand, which does make give me less choices. There's a pronouncer. I am a bit maybe hesitant to play into lines that rely on masterwork resolving. Because after seeing Car, I'm not entirely sure how my opponent's doing this matchup. It's like maybe not entirely crazy for them to side in Forbidden Treasure, because Masterwork is a very, very good card in this matchup. My opponent is fortunately tapping out for me, so should be able to at least play the next turn. That anyways, because RFE largely counteracts the mulligans. It doesn't counteract them having a slow start, but I did also have a bit of a slow start at most of my time setting up. I guess they are actually running in single here, which they are fortunate that I do not have. Attacking? Yeah. God, attacking would seem so bold. Oh, okay. There's the single, a bit late. So, I think I actually play the Dragon's Eye Descendant in hand, because that means I can hold up single for Leyran Alpha. So how do I approach? If I'm doing it this way, how do I approach this? I think I attack with both Harvesters. I think I do. Seems right too. Now, one more land. Very fortunately don't hit my last Dragon's Eye Descendant. I'm pretty fortunate to have milled this many lands. Do you think I'm gonna attack with both here? I think there's a decent amount of logic to it. Because I think these are like always gonna trade. I can never actually get this off the board. And now I just hold up Sinkhole for late round alpha, which probably will make my opponent very unhappy because I didn't have Synchro last turn. Mana. Coffee is fine. I should just have lethal next turn. I have to imagine that I just have lethal next turn with Masterwork being at least a +6/+6 and trample. So I Jade Holster up the Dragon's Eye. I guess that's fine. I guess I could counter it, but I do have lethal, so. And if they go, like, they do have 2 land plays left there, so I guess I think every road leads to Rome here. And they'll have, I think I'll have Exaxes, actually, even without any mills. Yeah, I have a bit more. Just be absolutely sure they don't have anything to do. I use command can't have x equals 0. I just go Fey Grove, back in, and present lethal. So, kind of curious why they brought in like, I guess I'm trying to figure out, like, I guess it does just, I guess Ka is like a good card, because like, I will probably have 2 creatures in play, maybe 3, if it comes down about the same time as Leyran. The Ka is just a really busted card. I do think that the nerfs probably impact this matchup a fair bit, because like, in game 1, if they did have Log Recluse was 1 mana, then their curve is infinitely better. Yeah, the Grey Map deck is in a bit of a weird spot. Look, there's not really replacement to Log Recluse. Like Off-World Explorers. Yeah, but this is just kind of a but to get to finals, which I suppose good. Ends up being a kind of cleaner match than expected. My opponent just definitely didn't draw especially well. Yeah, I don't know. But be back for the finals.